said it here. But I'd like to think she realized that demoralizing a man completely in front of his men is fucky and could, like, mess his whole shit up.
Oh, yeah. She's avoiding that now because she knows that can happen.
Yeah. Or at least I'd like to think that's why she did it. Kahlan convinces Chan that this little band of boys is the only thing that's going to slow the brutal enemy of the Order down, and that they have to start the killing so that they will know it's going to keep up once they leave. Because if they don't help these guys start it the right way, they're just going to either give up or fucking die right away. For sure.
Well, and Kahlan knows that Ryan had been taught by her half-brother, Harold. He had been taught a classic army move that he has defended to her. He literally tried to take 5,000 guys after 50,000 guys using this tactic, even though it wasn't going to work. My guess is because it was one of the few things he was taught and retained. That's how you fight war, period. Full stop.
Yeah.
This one tactic. So he was about to go do that with his instructions. And so Kahlan knew that if Chan had explained to him a new way to fight, he was going to take it. He was going to internalize that and use it. And that would become their new style of fighting. Like, obviously, same team.
Yeah.
He's on board with Kahlan. He's ready to listen. He wants to listen. But I feel like she knows he's going to stick with it if they can show him that it works. Show him, like, this is the way you do things now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely a dedicated, like, soldier. He's going to do what he's taught. And I think maybe the tactic wasn't the only thing he knew, but it was the best thing he knew how to use. Like, this is a solid tactic, and because he's been doing this for a couple of years now. So he's not, like, the greenest guy, but he's never seen an actual battle.
Right.
But Chan finally gets on board with this idea because he's like, okay, I understand now. He asks Kahlan if she's going to use her lightning, and she informs him that it didn't fucking work last night. And informs us that she thinks it's because she called it for Richard, so it's like a preset set just for him, and she can't call it on behalf of anybody else. Like, superpowers with specific conditions fucking suck, okay?
That is a real bummer. I love Kahlan, I really do. But it does take away some cool points. If you can't, and I know I make the constant joke, if you can't Palpatine it, like if you can't just call it at will and zap people, then, I mean, lightning's not cool, okay? But if you can't use it in 99 out of 100 scenarios, it is definitely useful for one, but I'm not going to bank on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's useful to one person specifically, which is, I mean, it's good for us. Because that's our hero. That's our dude. That's who we want it to be helpful for.
Right.
But for, like, the entire rest of the world, it doesn't really do a whole lot for them. Which I just feel like maybe that's just a flaw in the Confessor, like, logic. Expend all your super cool energy for the one person who most people aren't even going to get to find out. Like, okay. Most Confessors aren't even going to fall in love. So they probably won't even be able to call the Kandar because they don't care enough about anybody to call the Kandar for them.
That's a good point.
So it may be something that's passed down to everybody, but it's not something that most people get to use. So it's like a very specific, rarely used thing that is super fucking awesome and should be able to be used more. That's my take. Rant done.
We got to put a little chime in there. Doon, doon, that's Jade's take. Or something like that. Like it. So she tells him that she killed all of those men, not by fighting as they expected, but, you know, she means by plowing a horse through them. And that they like to drink and it makes them slow and dumb and, well, hey, surprise. So the brothers tell her that they had been keeping these young guys from drinking. They weren't happy about it or listening at all, you know. Teenagers. Yeah. And they have been through trauma and are rebelling against whatever they can. So, like, they don't want the teenagers getting drunk, which, by the way, I'm totally in support of. Teenage sobriety, that is.
I was like, wait, what are you saying?
Okay, not even, like, some laws don't necessarily parallel morality. So, would it be morally wrong for a person under the age of 21 to be drunk. No. However, we also know that the human brain isn't like fully formed until you're like 25-ish.
Yeah.
So it's probably not good for you. Plus, teenagers can be stubborn as fuck. I would not want to argue with a drunk teenager.
Plus, how many stupid things did you do when you were young, especially younger than 21, or even around 21 when you got drunk?
This is actually an Easter egg. It's all the things I did pretty much were dumb.
I just mean
for
like
a number of years there.
Like you do physically. Maybe dangerous is the word I was looking for.
You can cause physical harm.
Yeah. When you're drinking, you can do things that cause you physical harm, especially when you're young. You do stupid stuff, but I mean, even older guys, girls do this at bars when they're older. They're like, "I'm gonna punch this wall. Look at me, I'm a badass," and then you break your hand. It fucking happens. And when you're younger, I don't know. I feel like it's higher risk.
That was a very
damaging
specific
something.
story, Jade.
Yeah. Well, it happens sometimes when you're drinking.
Yeah, I mean, it does. So, Print and Toss, as always, are immediately down. They don't argue. And still, it's like, these are just the guys who are like, Richard, fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like him. So, they're on board. No question there. Chan himself, always, like, he's always this way. He's always got an issue with something. He's not happy about some aspect of it. Not that he's typically being that unreasonable.
Oh, no, I think he's usually pretty fucking logical.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we can see his point. But, I mean, he's hesitant, but he goes with it, too. He's like, okay, yeah. Kahlan will get killed if we're not there with her, at the very least, so we're in, because we have to keep you alive.
Yeah, he's definitely coming around to Kahlan at this point. Like, he ribs her like a friend now. Like, we have to be there to put some reason in your head, obviously. So, yeah, sure, I'll come along if I'm being forced to. When you know he wants to protect Kahlan at this point, just because he likes her more than, like, obligation.
Which is good, because we know that Chan is rough around the edges, but, like, he's kind of growing on us, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's like that asshole friend that we all have, and you're like, you're kind of a prick, but, you know, I like you. You're okay.
Yeah. I think I had forgotten how I get to that point, how you get to that point with him while you're reading. Like, I remember not hating Chan, but I forgot why I didn't hate Chan.
Yeah.
So Kahlan thanks him, and then she finally takes a handful of snow to clean the blood off of her face, which, fucking ew. Like, the cold from the snow, plus the fact that she's been covered in this shit, and, like, it's, like, her face is stiff, so she looks like fucking Hannibal Lecter. You know what I mean. But also, it's all in her hair. Like, she's got, like, matter in her hair and shit, and just ew. The whole thing is just ew. The cold, everything. Ew.
Yeah, you forget about it through the chapter. It tells you that right away, that she's got blood and pieces of bone and nasty. She's covered in it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, she's taken the time to have all of these conversations with people. And if it were me, I would walk into camp and be like, you and you go boil me some water because I'm taking a fucking bath. Then I will address you all. You can all stand outside my tent and I will holler at you through the canvas. But I'm getting blood off of me. Thanks.
Well, and I mean, you should, because it's not a very, like, health conscious thing to do, to just hang out with blood all over you, because you don't know what could be in the blood. Also,
Didn't anybody tell Kahlan there's a pandemic on?
Yeah, for real. Also, it's all in her, like, wolf mane thing. Her mantle, it's all full of it,
her
too.
badass coat.
Yeah, her white wolf thing. Yeah, that's fucked, too. So that's cool. That's just hanging full of gross chunks of wizard Schlegel.
Hey, Chan, give me yours.
Yeah, let's trade these.
Look, mine's got this cool red spot on it. Don't you like that? Some color.
So she tells the guys that they can start telling the troops how to travel without wagons, and she's going to take a fucking nap. Then the killing will start tonight.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, go explain to our troops how to do something harder than they've normally been doing while I go to sleep. Now, that sleep is well earned. I thought the irony in that was a little bit funny. But overall, I really fucking like this chapter because it solidifies who it is we're fighting against, who it is we're, like, sure is on our side now, right? The line has been drawn in the sand. There's a war on. War. And with the Order, who we were, like, I don't want to overstate it, but we didn't realize that it was in the second book that the Imperial Order becomes a thing.
Yeah, you just get so far away from the second book, eventually.
Yeah. And, well, yeah, exactly. But I liked this one because you get the reasons fully behind why they're doing what they're doing or what they're going to do. And you get the reasons why the characters are interacting with each other the way they are. Like, we were just talking about Kahlan and Chan. They fucking didn't like each other at first. And now there's at least a line of mutual respect. They may not be besties, but they're, you know, they're okay.
Yeah.
And the boys' camp or the boys' army literally going against an enemy 10 times their size because it's the right thing to do, which puts them squarely on the side of the reader.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just like, okay, everything is lining up. Kahlan is still separate from Richard, which is an issue. I mean, it sucks. Nobody likes it when they're apart.
But he's mad at her right now anyways.
Yeah, that's true. And apparently he's going to learn to become a wizard. So there's potential in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as far as what Kahlan is dealing with, that story is shaping up now.
Yes.
And I like her when she's in her element, when she's coming back and addressing the men like, look, I'm the boss fuckers.
Deal with it. Well, and the Chan relationship is super cool too. I like it.
Yes, very much so. The characters are not flat. A lot of them change over time because they're more like people than a lot of people I know are.
Yeah. Yeah, the character development is on point. And if you have any points that you want to make about this episode, we would love to hear them. You can get a hold of us at our email at podcastatt@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook at All the Things, on Instagram at podcastatt, on Twitter at podcast_ATT, and you can find us on Patreon at podcastatt too if you felt like, you know, helping us grow and being super awesome people. That's pretty cool to do. Otherwise, you can also send us a voicemail or a text if you're so inclined. Our phone number is 616-259-0025.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye.